Here inside the United Center, the Cavs have finished shoot-around ahead of Game 6. Chris Fedor, Joe Vardon, and Chris Haynes to preview Game 6 between the Cavs and the Bulls in the Eastern Conference semifinals. A chance for the Cavs to close out. Of course, there still would be a Game 7. If the Cavs can't win tonight, it would be back at the Cube. But Chris, as you were asking LeBron and David Blatt and Kyrie Irving, it seems like all the attention is on tonight's game.
They don't want to focus on it. They don't want to think about that they have. I asked them, they got 2 opportunities to win 1 game. They don't look at it like that. They look at it, we got 1 opportunity to win 1 game. And that's the right approach, because you want, if you start thinking ahead, you start kind of you give back. You're not going to probably exert as much energy mentally or physically or whatnot. It just may have a mental approach to take. But LeBron looked like he's focused, man. Like he's ready. I talked to Kendrick Perkins. He said this game is going to be the hardest win that they're going to get all postseason. LeBron kind of had a difference of opinion. LeBron said every game in the playoffs is pretty much the same. Kendrick said, man, this game's going to be tough. Those closeout games, there's nothing like it. And he urged his team that they need to take care of business today and not try to do it. He said when it gets to a Game 7, it's anybody's ball game.
Well, Joe, given that sort of thing, with Kyrie being in the situation for the first time and so many guys being in the situation for the first time, do you expect LeBron to have a carryover from Game 5? Is it possible to have a carryover from Game 5?
I think in the playoffs, momentum isn't really much of a factor, especially in this series. It feels like game to game, each game is so different. And so if LeBron has a carryover effect, it won't be because he played so well in Game 5. It'll just be because he understands this moment and feels comfortable in this environment, succeeding and carrying a team that might be younger.
Chris, I also thought it was a very good sign. Before Game 4, Kyrie mentioned how good he felt the morning that he woke up, and he felt like Game 4 was going to be a great day for him. It was 25 points, 15 of those in the second half, 9 of 16 from the field. He said today at Shootaround, he felt good once again. It seems like he's getting better, or at least he's learning how to manage and deal with this injury.
And that's always a good sign. He's not going to know for sure until he gets out on the court. But when you wake up in the morning, psychologically, if you're feeling good, you're going to go in with a much better approach. Like feeling good, that could translate over to playing well. So it's all about your mental state. And being that he said that, that's definitely a good thing. And I think it may be too much to ask for him to duplicate the last game's performance, because I think with the things that he's dealing with, he said he's not going to be healthy until he just shuts it down. So this is going to be a reoccurring problem throughout this postseason. So if he can give them anything close to last night, I think the Cavaliers have to be satisfied with that.
Joe, give me a guy besides LeBron and besides Kyrie who could step up in a big moment here, Game 6 closeout game.
You always ask me this.
I do.
You always and you always,
because here's the thing. The best thing about what has happened to me in the first 5 games is we came into this series wondering who's going to be the third option, who's going to replace Kevin Love. The answer has been a lot of different guys.
I heard you say that on the radio.
Yeah, Game 1 was Iman Shumpert. Game 2 was James Jones, J.R. Smith, Matthew Dellavedova. There have been different guys, Tristan Thompson, that have stepped up. And it's not been one guy for the third option. It's been a whole team.
Well, that's true. I like J.R. Smith because I think he's been the most consistent since he came back from suspension. He's been a cold-blooded shooter and has really kind of helped fill the void a little bit with Kevin Love being out. So I like him. I would like to see Timofey Mozgov play better.
You think?
Yikes. I mean, that was an opportunity missed, because he is supposed to dominate when Pau Gasol is out. Pau will be back tonight. We'll see how Timofey responds.
Joe mentioned it, Chris. Pau is expected to play. He doesn't know how much he can give on that injured hamstring. It cost him 2 games. He took a shot at Pau, an unnecessary shot, in my opinion. How does he change what Chicago does?
Well, he has a spacer out on the floor. He's not going to be a guy, first of all, if he was healthy or not, he wasn't going to be a guy that's banging around the series, getting a lot of points in the paint. He can't do that against this front line of the Cavaliers. But as we've seen when they got that first win, the Derrick Rose, Pau Gasol pick and pop game, that's something that they've been missing all year. And if Pau, all series, and if Pau was being able to play, if he was able to just give them that, and you can get that on a sore hamstring. And that's not to take anything away from Pau Gasol. The hamstring injury is obviously nothing to play with, but the Chicago Bulls coaching staff, some of them thought that he was going to give it a go last game. So what happened? He didn't play, huh?
No, he didn't play.
Okay. All right, that's about it. Shot? I didn't take no shot. I was just right. No shots.
All right, we talked following Game 4. You guys felt like the Cavs were going to win Game 6. They were going to close it out here tonight at the United Center. With Pau being back, does that change anything for either one of you?
No, but I mean, I think you have to remember we both sort of couched it. It's going to be a tight game. At least I believe that. I mean, I don't know what really to expect tonight, other than this whole series has been nip and tuck,
right?
And so, I would be surprised if either team blew out the other.
Change anything for you?
I think it's too late. I think LeBron hitting that shot in Game 4, that was it. I think it's a little too late. Pau Gasol can try, but I think it's a little too late.
So from a Bulls perspective, though, don't you think they might be thinking, we shot 39% from the field. LeBron had his best game of the series. Kyrie was as good as he's been since Game 1. And it came down to an offensive rebound.
Okay, that's all fine, but what's going to prevent them from not shooting 39%? I mean, they don't have the most creative offense out there to get them some open looks. So how is that going to change? Just going to change by them just shooting better? Well, they're not going to shoot better if the same defensive personnel is out there stopping them. So I don't see what they have.
Well, I would say the Bulls would have to go to great lengths to not be thinking the following. This is the 4th time they've seen LeBron James in the playoffs.
Yeah.
LeBron has stomped them out every time. He owns them almost the way that Michael Jordan owned the Cavs in the 80s and 90s. It got to the point where you know the other guy's standing there and you know there's nothing you can do about it. Their numbers, LeBron's numbers against the Bulls are very similar to Michael's numbers against the Cavs, if you do a comparison. And one of the things was they never lost a closeout game against. LeBron's never lost a closeout game here against the Bulls. Same with Michael and the Cavs. And there's got to be a complex there. And if the Bulls can overcome that takes some incredible mental strength to do that.
Game 6 tonight here at the United Center. Tip-off 8 o'clock Cleveland time, 7 o'clock Chicago time. We'll see what happens tonight. Will it be the Cavs moving on to the Eastern Conference Finals, or will there be a Game 7 at the Q on Sunday? We'll find out in just a few hours. For Joe Vardon, Chris Haynes, I'm Chris Fedor. Enjoy Game 6. Continue to check out our coverage, cleveland.com/Cavs.